Hello and welcome, everyone. Today is a Saturday, of course, Sabbath, 2nd of September 2023. I'm gathered here with Michael from Germany on the Skype recording we're doing at the moment. And we are going to embark back on our journey into the land of Bruce Lee. And this is, boy, I don't know. Are we like in 30 sessions in, Michael, here?
I knew I forgot something today. Yeah, I would just like going to look it up, but we are close to. I could look it up, but I have to.
Oh, you don't need to. We're getting close. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're deep into the script.
I can look it up. Must be session 134 and Bruce Lee 29 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee 29. Wow. Yeah, we're way up there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because this is all research that you've done within the past few years. As we can see here in this picture, everyone's wearing masks. So, obviously, this is post-COVID in China or where?
Hong Kong.
Is it China?
Hong Kong.
Thank you.
Kong, of course, the fragrant harbor.
Yes, the fragrant harbor.
Yeah. It's absolutely unbelievable. It's unbelievable, you see. It looks like a movie here, huh? There's a tram, or the street train, or what else you would tell this street cab, rushing in here. It's like a movie, yeah? People are standing in front of a screen. Salute our legend, and effectively they had to have raised their hands now. Oh yeah, salute. My. You see that? Supported by Bruce Lee Enterprise LLC, so it's a business. .com, it's commercial. It's a commercial. Looks very 60s, huh? When you are awake, you must be fully awake and conscious about everything. Yeah, that's what we are trying to achieve. And not that stuff that some foundations wants to put in our mouth or in our ears or what else. I want to know the purpose and the agenda behind it and not smiting people or making a business out of Bruce Lee. I don't want to. I just want to know the truth. So, let's get back to the truth. Last time we had it about the Rosicrucians and Freemasons. This time, it's about, maybe Rosicrucians and Freemasons? I don't know. Let's get it on. Before they are shutting us down, because the Ministry of Truth has other ideas about what is the truth. Maybe they will change also the definition of truth. Truth is everything that government says. The Big Brother says. What else? Also interesting quote, if that is correct. Now, the theory of communism may be summed up in the single sentence: abolition of private property. Karl Marx, Freemason. Yeah. It's always the same. When I see Klaus Schwab, I want to hold him in my arms. He seems so sad. Yeah, he seems so sad somewhere. I do not know. As if he would cry the next time.
I was telling Michael a few minutes ago, what happened if Klaus Schwab was like Buddha and you could just rub his tummy? I don't know. These characters, man. You'll own nothing and be happy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's communism. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Pretty much.
Sure. Yeah, every time I want to hand him a handkerchief, I do not know. He seems not be happy. Yeah. Even though he owns much, he's not happy because actually possession does not make you happy. The San Francisco Giants eradicated their cigarette problem with a red-tailed hawk named Bruce Lee. Sure, the Giants, Bruce Lee. Interesting quote from the Bible, have not looked it up in the King James, is, "There is no peace, says the Lord, for the wicked." Isaiah 48:22. There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody talks about world peace, huh? Yeah, the Freemasons, Rosicrucians, everybody who has something strange in mind, wants to rule or wants to be part of the so-called deep state, they are just using the number 11, because 11 is the number of the Genesis chapter 11, where the whole earth was one language, and so then God confused afterwards the language, but first they said, "Go, let us build a city and a tower who..."
Genesis 11, then the whole earth was one language and of one speech. You like your English, Michael? Just kidding. And it came to pass that they journeyed from the east, and they found a plain in the land of Shinar and dwelt there. And they said one to another, "Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly, that they had brick for stone, and slime they had for mortar." And they said, "Go, let us build us a city and tower, whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth." And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, "Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do."
And this city is called Babel, which means the gate of gods. Babel. So this is a reference to Freemasons, and there you have the number 11, the real meaning of 11. It's always the Bible. So we are skipping back to the United States. You know, peace movement, 60s. Everybody's happy, free love. Peace symbols. What is it in Isaiah 48:22? "There is no peace, saith the Lord, for the wicked." So when a wicked word, a satanic word, a counterfeit word, a matrix, where all we are living in, is telling you something about peace for the wicked, it is an impossibility. So it's a lie. There is no peace, and therefore there can only be a peace in a satanic word when they get rid of all the Christians. Because there is a war between two tribes, the tribe of Cain and the tribe of Abel. So these are peace symbols for a wicked world. And this is a peace symbol which comes officially from the British nuclear disarmament movement in 1958. Yeah, it's widely known as a peace sign. Yeah, it's the same peace sign as the crucifix is a sign of Jesus Christ. Yeah, so it is no peace sign. Yeah. There is also a London magazine, 1775, showing the goddess of peace bringing an olive branch to America and Britannia. Oh, great, the goddess of peace. Yeah, so that's a violation of the first commandment, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me," with an olive branch as a symbol of peace. So why didn't they use an olive branch when it comes down to their symbol of peace? My. The Romans believed there was an intimate relationship between war and peace. Mars, the god of war, had another aspect, Mars Pacifier. Mars, the bringer of peace, who is shown on coins of the later Roman Empire bearing an olive branch. Isn't that something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Mars the victor, so Mars who has the victory. And this is Mars who brings peace. So what does it mean is that the god of war brings peace. Yeah, that means peace through war, or peace through shedding of blood, peace through victims, peace through killings. And that's the peace of our world, isn't it? And somebody says, oh yeah, we have to take our weapons to fight the enemy in Ukraine or what else. That is not a Christian behavior. Jesus said that we should not draw the sword. So, Mars Parsator, that's certain Latin names, is not just a bringer of peace, he is a peacemaker because he subdues the enemy. Doesn't that sound a little bit like Sun Tzu? Mars the subduer. And I think that is not generally known, that Mars has different aspects. And of course, Mars never lived, but that's the counterfeit gods and goddesses that they just worship. I just want to point that out, because when we are speaking of Bruce Lee and America and all the stuff in peace movement, we are speaking of the 1960s. Dove and Olive Branch and Christianity. I make here just a broken rifle. Just make a short summary here. And this is just the general peace symbol here. Now being replaced with a rainbow flag. Pace, pace, Italy means peace. Or that kind of a peace in a wicked word, which is exactly the V sign, the sign of the horns, from Churchill, who happens to be a Freemason. What a coincidence. Or not. And what a coincidence, what do we see here? Winston Churchill doing the horn signs, Michael Jackson doing the horn signs, Steve McQueen doing the horn signs, and Bruce Lee doing the horn signs, of course. Monkey see, monkey do. Don't ask me why we have a mugshot of Steve McQueen here. Maybe he drove too fast. I don't know. But it's not the point. The point is that all these people have something in common. And I got this from that peace sign of that book of Codex Magica. Here, what you see on the left side here with the devil's horns. Codex Magica from Taxi Mars. Yeah, who also has some interesting connections to Alex Jones. So you don't have to trust him either. But at least his book is most likely correct. I have not read it entirely, but the problem with symbols always is that God gave man a mouth to speak. And Jesus did not do anything in secret. So that means that all these people who are just using symbols, they have something to hide. Yeah, if they tell you I love you, then it means I love you, Satan. Yeah, it's always the same. It's always not the thing that the average John Doe thinks it is. It isn't. Yeah, in Japan, for example, they have a Japanese peace symbol of paper cranes. Peace bells. And that is also my problem with it. My problem with it is there is a certain script of a certain chick publications out there. It's called The Broken Cross. Where here somebody claims that this is a broken cross used for initiation into the occult. It's a denying of Jesus Christ. I am not an initiated person. So that I mean that I was no member of any circles or what else stuff. So that means that I don't know if that is correct. What I know is that there are numerous faults in chick publication tracks. And it's based upon the of John Todd, an ex-Grand Druid priest, for the authenticity of the occult information used in this story. And I have a highly my doubt of this John Todd. But what I am not doubting is the fact that this peace symbol is not a peace symbol, because there is no peace in a wicked word, or no peace for the wicked, saith the Lord. So much so for symbols, and so much so for this whole peace movement and all the stuff. Yeah. So to have a cross is also a violation of the second commandment, which is this commandment.
Verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven, or that is in the earth beneath, or in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them who hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments.
So there are no peace symbols. There are no crucifix, no cross, no what else symbols which are, even with a good intention, which are excellent, which are in the eyes of the Lord. No, we don't need any symbols. We don't need any symbols. But one of the key characters in the tale of Bruce Lee needs symbols. That name is J. Sebring. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not his name. His real name is Thomas Jon Kummer. It means sorrow in English. Yeah, born in Birmingham. So that's not his real name. His real name is Thomas John Kummer. He was officially murdered by members of the Manson family along with his ex-girlfriend Tate. I highly, highly, highly doubt that. I think that everything here is a total fraud. He's the ex-boyfriend of Sharon Tate, that actress, and he's also an actor. So Sharon Tate, J. Sebring, the autopsy and all the stuff, you have to also believe it. Everything is a mess and everything is a fraud here, according to my research. So this Thomas John Kummer, who known professionally as J. Sebring, of course that's an American racetrack, Sebring in Florida if I remember correctly, was the founder of the hairstyling corporation Sebring International. This guy was officially murdered by members of the Manson family along with his ex-girlfriend Sharon Tate. I say nothing happened there. That was just a CIA action. And he has a strange symbol here, a trademark TM, for his Sebring Corporation. In all of his products he's got this symbol. And that is the official ex-boyfriend of Sharon Tate, Thomas Kummer. Wikipedia. After graduating from Detroit Catholic Central in 1951, Sebring served in the Navy for 4 years, and during this time he fought in the Korean War. Oh, he served in the Navy. Interesting. He then moved to Los Angeles, City of Angels, where he adopted the names J. Sebring after the Florida car race. You have to believe it, huh? He was formerly married to a girl named Kami Sebring. And then the big thing is coming up here in the description of Wikipedia. That tell you that he opened a shop and he cut hair for 13 hours a day. We have spoken about the number 11. 11 means the Freemasons when they are just erecting, building and involved in something. 13 is the number for Freemasonry when it comes down to the worship of Osiris, their god of the underworld, because he was officially, mythologically chopped into 14 pieces. One piece, the phallus, went missing. So Mr. Kummer or Mr. Sebring actually cut hair for 13 hours a day, which of course is the number of veneration of Osiris, which means you can smell that nobody cuts hair for exactly 13 hours a day. So that is the first hint that it has something to do with Freemasonry. He was introduced to Peter Lawford and Frank Sinatra. Peter Lawford being the, relative to, John F. Kennedy. All these social circles, elite circles. And then he charged $50 and more, including Steve McQueen, Sammy Davis Jr., who was affiliated with Anton LaVey. He later designs the Doors' Jim Morrison flea-flowing style, which means Jim Morrison, of course, the son of the army commander or what else he was on the Gulf of Tonkin incident. So everything to do here with the army. He had a playboy lifestyle. He insisted. This is the most interesting line here so far. Sebring assisted with launching the film career of Bruce Lee after meeting him at the National Karate Championships in Long Beach in 1964. He introduced Lee to his producer friend Bill Dozier, who started Lee's career with the Green Hornet. And here you see Bruce Lee waving out of the window to Batman and Robin. Sebring assisted with launching the film career of Bruce Lee. So Sebring is the one who then was putting the strings for Hollywood movie business for Bruce Lee. So he's the one you would have to look for and take your eyes off. And he appears here on the Bruce Lee featured episode of Batman and Robin in displaying, there was a DI missing, displaying a character based on himself called Mr. Oceanbrink. I think that you can see the resemblance to his artificial name Sebring. Yeah, Sebring, Oceanbrink. He also appeared in the 1967 episode of The Virginian, and he also appeared as himself on the episode of To Tell the Truth, where it is about that somebody has to guess who's the right person of the description given to them without knowing whom it applied to. So that is interesting because that tells you one thing, that Mr. Sebring is an actor. He's not only a hairdresser, he's an actor. Maybe I find something. There, this is the real footage here of Jay Sebring as Mr. Oceanbrink in Batman. So come on, he's not only a barber, he's also an actor. Interesting, huh? Same profession as Sharon Tate. Okay, you guessed the rest. From the research of Miles Matthews, he said that is supposed to be Sebring's next of kin, his nephew Anthony de Maria. I met Jay's nephew one afternoon 18 years, very strange 18 years, 666 ago, at the USC Special Collection. He did not even know the details of his uncle's murder. Yeah, because most likely that never happened. I had to turn him on to the Helter Skelter novel because that was all I knew at the time. Now he remains the only next of kin to the Sebring side to ever attend a parole hearing. Yeah, these strange actors here. So I suppose they all are actors. We're not only speaking of Jay Sebring, but many, many other people. McQueen is also not only an actor, he served the Navy before, and here I found an article here, Jay Sebring. Moscow invites McQueen, so during the Cold War, very interesting, 1965. Moscow invites McQueen, yeah, could be something to it, I don't know. Jay Sebring was one of the few people profiled in the 1967 cult documentary Mondo Hollywood. Back in 1969, Sebring was nicknamed the Candyman and was said to have used his salon to peddle drugs to the stars. Oh, if it would only be this, I think that many people would have made had access to drugs. Yeah, think of Grateful Dead. Jim Markham was Sebring's protege and business partner in a budding franchise of men's hair salons and has made his statement publicly that he did sell drugs to the stars. But it gets worse, because I found that really article here. If that is the friend and if that is not another false trace. Jim Markham, a hairstylist turned mogul whose clients included Paul Newman and Steve McQueen, once again, who was a protege to victim, Jay Sebring, hosted a federalist sting to uncover the cult leader's motives. Jim Markham remembers vividly the following days the grisly Manson murders of Roman Polanski's pregnant wife, Sharon Tate, and her former boyfriend and hairstylist Jay Sebring, and 3 others at the director's Benedict Canyon residence in August 1969. So, are you interested? What new story comes up now? It's very interesting, and it's you have to look it for yourself. Quentin Tarantino has made that movie here, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where Jay Sebring is a key character. Sebring is a key character, yeah, he is, but he's a key character in that he is the one who has made Bruce Lee a star by introducing him to Bill Dozier for the Green Hornet. So that is supposed to be Mr. Markham. What does he say about his theory of the Manson murders? So, days after the murders, he began living at the house where he had been a frequent guest, Sebring's Bavarian-style home, once owned by Gina Harlow and located on Easton Drive in Beverly Hills. By the way, in that house, a suicide/murder has been taking place a few decades before, but that is just another thing. As Markham remembers, Tate's father, a colonel in Army intelligence, so not just a regular guy, in Army intelligence, began working with federal agents on the investigation. The agents told Mr. Markham that they believed the killers were connected to the saloon of J. Sebring. Murder victim Forger also had a connection to the Hare enterprise, given that she was an investor in Sebring International. The saloon was bugged, but ultimately that line of inquiry lost steam. Once the Manson family became suspects, however, about 6 months after the murder. So you cannot imagine, that they must have so lazy police guys and inspectors in California. Can you believe it? No, I don't believe it. I don't buy it. So they want to have this fear spreaded that there are some unknown murders around and that everybody should fear for his life to get the distraction from this anti-peace movement to a real threat. So what does he say now? 5 decades later, Mr. Markham floats his own theory, one that deviates from the official helter-skelter scenario put forth by Manson prosecutor Vincent Bugliosi, from which we suppose that everything is a lie, that the cult leader ordered the Tate murders in hopes that it would spark an apocalyptic race war as foretold to him in what he believed were coded lyrics on the Beatles' White Album, which I think is hogwash. Through Markham is reluctant to denigrate the memory of Sebring, who was his mentor and after whom he named his son. He claimed that the late hairdresser knew Manson and suggests that the murders were the result of the drug deal gone bad, an account that aligns with once popular explanation that fell out of favor as the helter-skelter narrative became dominant. Back in 1969, Sebring was nicknamed the Candyman and was said to have used his saloon to peddle drugs to the stars. Well, I think that is the alternative theory that has something to do with drugs, so that they killed the slaughtering of all the people in the house. Can you really believe it? I don't want to get into the drugs, but I never bought into the race war theory. I believe Manson had gone up to the house, Polanski was away shooting a movie, and Manson wanted to sell cocaine and marijuana, he said. He showed Jay and Wojciech the product they weren't going to buy. Some of it, but the two of them got beaten up at the gate. The next day, Manson sent the family up, and what else? That's you have to buy. So this is, like in the case of Kennedy, you get a new theory from time to time from a different person writing a book or having a report or what else. But look at this. In Once Upon a Time, that movie from Quentin Tarantino, Manson appears before the killings at his Cielo Drive house, which is correct. Once Upon a Time offers a revisionist's history of the murders and introduces fictionist characters into the blood-soaked narrative. In the years after the Manson murders, Markham forged his own path, one that diverged from his humble beginnings of charging $5 a haircut in Albuquerque. After winning the silver medal in the Hair Olympics, he had flown to Los Angeles in 1966 to learn Sebring's method of cutting and styling. At the time, the celebrity hairstylist was romantically involved with Tate and living with her. Now comes the big sentence, if there is some truth in it. Markham describes Tate as a really sweet lady, but says he never saw the actress with Polanski. She was always without him, Markham says. She seemed to like Jay a lot. They were always kissing lovey-dovey. Remember when we spoke about the biography of Kirk Douglas that he said, there were rumors that the child that Sharon Tate was about to have was not the child of Roman Polanski, but from J. Sebring. Markham then dated Sharon's younger sister Debra, who consulted on Tarantino's movie. She looked just like Sharon, which is not true. Yeah, so what's the heck of it here? They try to sell you another story, another cover-up of the story that is about drugs. Interesting that he said, it seems that she liked Jay a lot, they were always kissing. I suspected right from the beginning that was just a spoof, that everything is a fraud here, that Polanski is the director and all the pieces coming together because all the people there in Cielo Drive, they were just simply actors. Let's get back. Now Markham met Sharon, then a receptionist. He had several other affiliates. They married in 1982 and began running in the businesses together after selling Markham products, so his kind of enterprise in the hair business. In 1989, Markham launched ABBA, pure and natural hair care, one of the first vegan lines in the United States, and sold it 1997 for 20 million. I said, oh yeah, ABBA. Huh? Sure. ABBA, like the infamous Swedish pop group, is the Aramaic name for father or dear father. Yeah, so everything sells, which is some resemblance of the Bible, just to have a counterfeit and just to not only to mock the Bible, but just to lead people astray into believing, oh, ABBA, I know, that's a Swedish pop group. Oh, ABBA, I know, yeah, that's a natural hair care. But it's always the same thing. It's always the same. So that is about, he said the whole city was terrorized after the Manson murders. It went from being loosey-goosey to very guarded overnight. They brought about a whole new era, which I think was also the purpose of this movie called The Manson Murders. I don't buy it. Yeah, especially very interesting when you see that the mother of the so-called victim, Sharon Tate, Mrs. Doris Tate, she opens in 1970 something, she opens a hair salon. The hairdresser I used to work for, Doris Tate, I think I went there for several years. They had many casual conversations with Doris. I knew who she was and that she lived in Pennsylvania. Yeah, so interesting, huh? That her mother is into the hair business as well. Oh, what a coincidence! It's always a coincidence, of course. Huh? And this is what the place looks today. And it's not big enough that you could see a supercut. So there's still something with the barbershop inside. Yeah. So, Jay Sebring was rumored front for various illegal activities, including drug trafficking. Okay. And you think that is enough for being a suspect in the case? I think there is much more to it. Meanwhile, you see Mr. Bruce Lee most likely at the funeral of Sharon Tate in 1969. Question. Do you think that Jay Sebring was running drugs and was just offering Manson something? Or do you believe that everything is a fake? Because Mr. Sebring is an actor, Mrs. Tate is an actress, and Mr. Polanski is a director. It is very interesting when you know that they are speaking with symbols. And the symbol of Sebring International is the Ankh. A-N-K-H. A-N-K-H. Some say it is a device that we move stones with pyramids, that it's a mother of God and a spirit, and some other guys or girls say that each one of your African gods possessed an Ankh. I think that is too hard to read on 2 pages. So let's get back to the old style. Everybody tells you another story. I work with a black-owned spiritual store and I have lots of black clients. They don't see enough of black history, African spiritual practice, and all the alike. And somebody explains you that the Ankh symbolize conception. That's where you get life from. Interesting, male and female. Yeah, everybody tells you another story. And of course it can be male and female together, combined in one symbol. But it's something else. It's Osiris backbone, and you see, everybody believes what he likes to believe. Yeah, and some believe in ancestors, and somebody swears an oath, and that you got protection. The Ankh means self-mastery and protection, and what else? People believe everything in amulets and talismans and all the stuff. Who got it right are these 2 gentlemen here. There's a video which I like very much. The video is called Why You Should Never Wear an Ankh. Shocking. And the left gentleman said to the right gentleman here, your house, you have items of the devil in your house, not of God. God saying, no need, no image. Him not need, no enough, no graven image. Yeah, so automatic translator. Yeah. So, but it's about he's referring to the second commandment that you don't use any symbols. So that J. Sebring or Sebring International, they are no Christians. Yeah. They are into some strange relationship with the occult, and most likely they belong to a brotherhood. Yeah. So Freemasons, because Freemasons also use the Ankh. In the Bruce Lee series, where he played Kato in the Green Hornet from Bulldozer, also the waiter here has a strange symbol, which is not an Ankh, but which is also very interesting, because you see that symbols are always to recognize that you belong to a certain club. Yeah, he told here the Green Hornet, well, this is not a regular club, sir. The requirements are unusual. Yeah, I suppose that's why you're wearing red and black, huh? And he and he told then the character of Green Hornet, there's not one of our club capable of killing. Yeah, sure. When it's about a hunter, huh? The hunters and the hunted. Yeah, it's about a hunt club, and no one of them is capable of killing. Oh, how hilarious comedy, huh? So what does Wikipedia tells us? Wikipedia tells us the Ankh is being seen as the key of life, an ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic symbol used in Egyptian art, and represents the word for life, or a symbol of life. And there is a phrase by Bruce Lee, is quote, the key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering, which is totally false, because the key to immortality is the belief in Jesus Christ. But what does he know? Because he just believes in Taoism and the self. Yeah, but immortality would be also the key of life. So they see the Ankh as a symbol of the goddess of Isis, of course, the god mother, and not of Osiris. And so the pillar of Osiris, which you see, for example, in the Didi Plaza, would be the equivalent for the male god, and the Ankh would be the equivalent of the female god. Or usually you can also use water, because in the Didi Plaza you see the phallus being reflected in the water. So they are describing now the Ankh here on Wikipedia. We know how that looks like. For instance, Thomas Inman, a meta-mythologist of the 19th century, thought the sign represented the male and female reproductive organs joined into a single sign, which could most likely be. But other researchers, Gordon and Schwab, not Klaus Schwab, but Schwabe, suggest the signs are based on parts of the bull's anatomy through which semen was through to pass the angus thoracis vertebra. What else? Yeah, that was the right phallus of the bull. What else? The Ankh was frequently sustaining life, was the central function of the deities who governed these natural cycles. So to take life and to give life was the function of a god. Only a god can do, of course, give life and take it. Yeah, and they have many, many of them. Therefore, depicted being held in God's hands, representing their life-giving power. Or magic power. The Ankh may have been used decoratively for more than in one hieroglyphic sign. Mirrors, mirror cases, and floral bouquets were made in its shapes. Friezes in temples, the Ankh alone was positioned above the hieroglyph that presents the words all and all life and power. Therefore, it was placed in tombs and ensured the well-beings of the deceased in the afterlife. So, the key of life. So, you got the key, okay, you can unlock the door and you got the eternal life, so to speak. But there's more to it. Because luckily, this is Wikipedia and we have some pictures. With a, what is it? A cobra? Could it be? looks like a cobra, huh?
In the temple, yeah.
Ah, yeah, you see.
On the forehead, yeah.
Very precious Ankh.
There's the beetles.
I just was going to ask you. Yeah, that's a beetle, the Capri. Yeah, who's the sun beetle there? Yeah. And now you combine it with Sharon Tate and the Manson murders and J. Sebring. J. Sebring has the Ankh as a symbol. J. Sebring is doing drugs. Sharon Tate is in the Fearless Vampire Killers. The beetle is called Capri, is of course, mentioned in the Abbey Road with the Beatles, when they're walking there and doing the MM sign with the 4 legs Master Mason. Sharon Tate also has a role in the movie Rosemary's Baby. Rose-Crucian. Rosemary. Mary with the roses. Rosemary's Baby. And in Rosemary's Baby, the victim Theresa dies in a Volkswagen Beetle as a symbol of death, regeneration of the new. So death, regeneration would be also the symbol of an Ankh.
Just imagine a world where you will hold your entire future in the palm of your hand, when a tiny glowing crystal will guide you through an existence in which each day is more wonderful than the last, where it will be possible for you to obtain the fulfillment of every fantasy, the satisfaction of every vanity, the absolute attainment of every wish.
Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer presents the Saul David production of Logan's Run. Welcome to the 23rd century. The perfect world of total pleasure. Imagine a world in which you need never be alone. You touch a switch, turn a dial, and the perfect lover steps into your arms. Every pleasure is yours to experience.
Runner!
There's just one catch.
When the tiny crystal in the palm of your hand flashes its final message, your time is up.
Be strong, and you will be renewed.
Near the hand. Don't look for us. See you.
Logan 5. Do you identify this object?
Negative. Question, what is it?
That is the name of the object, Ankh. Do you identify this word, sanctuary?
Negative.
Sanctuary is a pre-catastrophe code word used for a place of immunity.
Request identity check. Affirmative.
Entering a reservation for violent delinquents. Authorized persons only.
The cheekbones could be narrowed and the mouth curved.
I like dark hair. Tell him to give me dark hair.
All set? Did you have anything special in mind?
Oh, I don't care, just...
Dark hair.
Oh, yes, Holly would like dark hair.
I think we'll start by narrowing the cheekbones. With this one, there's no waiting for scar burnishing. It's all in one. Watch now. Here's the improvement. Instant healing before you feel a thing. Hello, yes? Yes, they are. Done.
Runner, this is the last gate. Use your key now. When the bell sounds again, use your key. Good luck, runner. May you find sanctuary. Runner, this is the last gate. Use your key now. When the bell sounds...
What is it?
I don't know. Whatever it is, it's warm.
Logan 5. Did you find sanctuary? Did you find sanctuary? We will begin surrogation. Your surrogates are engaged.
There is no
Logan 5.
sanctuary.
Answer the question. Input contrary. Input contrary. 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 May not. May not resist. May not resist. Logan 5.
There's a second item of power. It's called the wars. Yeah, and that's interesting because there's a group called Wars, not Wars. Maybe that has also some meaning of it. Yeah, so but still we are at the Ankh, the key of life. Yeah. In Christianity, Catholicism, yeah, there's a book of H.G. Wells, the Crux Ansata, Holy Cross. Huh? You see, it looks kind of a like symbol. But there's also more to it. Yeah, so that is the Ankh, Egyptian hieroglyph 3-4. Yeah, we're doing something. Now look at this tarot card. What do you see?
Oh, a man hanging upside down with an ankh on the top. Yeah, upside down.
Yeah,
Ew.
that's the Hanged Man. That's the symbol of 12, the 12th card of tarot. That's the Hanged Man. That's the Crowley tarot, by the way. What do you see in the background?
Sun.
A sun with the sun rays.
Yes.
So you see 3 nails. 1, 2,
really?
3. Yeah, and a sun symbol. And you know, it has something to do with the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. And of course, this is not depicted in the correct way, but upside down. And there is no proof that Peter was ever being crucified upside down. No, not one. So we imagine that has something to do with Christ, which it usually has. That's the denying of Christ and what is it? Not downplay, but if you just make fun of something. Can you come up with an American slang or American?
To mock it?
Yeah, to mock it, to mock the crucifixion of Christ. So that's the Hanged Man. Yeah, the Hanged Man. Yeah. Maybe with 9-inch nails, who knows? Because 9-inch nail, one member of the group, he rented that Cielo Drive Sharon Tate home afterwards to record, make a record there. 9-inch nails, of course. 9-inch nails has a reference to the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, of course. So, and look at this movie here from Kenneth Anger, Lucifer Rising, 1972. Also, ISIS, topless, is using an ankh. And you know that picture was being sponsored by J.P. Getty, a Jesuit. Yeah, and this is Sebring International with the ankh. Quality endorsed by Sebring Estate. Jay Sebring, the catalyst behind Bruce Lee's stardom in Hollywood. Bruce Lee, the J. Sebring collection. And I know exactly what there is a kind of connection, because Sebring was part of the inner circle. There is no other way around. When he's traveling all over the world to go to Night of Malta, Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh, okay.
Sammy Davis Jr. Yeah, so that black guy there, Sammy Davis Jr. Yeah, he was doing the hair for Frank Sinatra, Mafia, etc. Sammy Davis Jr., who was in Night of Malta. Steve McQueen, who was U.S. Navy, and many other people. I would suggest that Mr. J. Sebring is an agent. Yeah, I would suggest he's U.S. Army, if not CIA. Highly suggest. Yeah. Symbols explained, because the Ankh is also symbolism into the symbolism of Freemasonry. The Ankh, tell you, is an electromagnetic device. Yeah, sure. Everybody tells you something else to confuse you, but the Ankh has been prominently displayed on the products of Sebring International. Yeah, even at the beach. Yeah, even in Lucifer Rising. Yeah, so when in Lucifer Rising, a female so-called god is raising an Ankh. You know what kind of symbol that must be, huh? Not a Christian symbol, I can tell, that because there are none, but it's just a symbolism of ancient Egypt, meaning Freemasonry, meaning Luciferianism, Satanism. Interesting that in Batman 1966, the very same year when Bruce Lee in one episode appeared there, or was it two, they had also an episode with a wand. Yeah, so somebody here looks like an Egyptian pharaoh or something, called the episode Batusi. But it must be a coincidence then, huh? That something has to do with Egyptian mythology in Batman in Hollywood. Must be a coincidence. No, once again, it's in the card of the Hanged Man, the Ankh. He has his foot with maybe a snake around it in the Hanged Man position, upside down. The Hanged Man is a symbol for the turning points in life. That's the exoteric explanation, showing up a need to stop and assess a situation. We are hanging in the air until we find a new view of the things around us, blah, blah, blah. All religions are one, which is a very great site when you're into occultism, but it's not a good site because they can't make a difference between Catholicism and Christianity. They say the Hanged Man is symbolized in Egypt. Mummies were dehydrated with natron for 40 days when Sirius is absent from sky. During the prosecution of the Knights Templars was a favorite method of torture of the Catholic Church. They were tried as heretics and traitors and hanged by rope. He is connected, so the victim is connected to a silver cord, which also is a biblical reference, an Ankh key of life. Yeah, not in that picture, but in the Crowley tarot, which are displayed before. Sacrifice of the Lamb, the illusionary I am. Templars and later Freemasons adopted St. John the Evangelist as one of his patrons. Yeah. But there are also some misinformations here. So that we have the Crowley tarot here with the Ankh. In Masonry, this is the initiation ritual of the Hanged Man. Symbol of ladder refers to the paradox of descending to ascent, go through hell to reach heaven. In Masonry, this is the initiation ritual of the Hanged Man, reenactment of traitors of Hiram Abiff Osiris, which is then close to the ritual of Hiram Abiff with the 3 ruffians and 3 shots in Dealey Plaza and Kennedy. Rope, blindfolded, symbolic gouging out the eyes to see with the real third eye, refer to uninitiated masses at the dead. Interesting, huh? Rope, blindfolded, and the Hanged Man. Let me have a guess. What was it with roped, Hanged Man, and in one other picture, which you can not see here, with blindfolded? Yeah, it is exactly the same thing as in the so-called Manson murders, where you see allegedly J. Sebring. And I would never believe that this is a real picture, because no dead corpse is lying in that kind of a position, because you have to have body tension when you have this position. I think everything here is a total fabrication. Rope, blindfolded, symbolic gouging out the eyes to see with a real third eye. Yeah. And the rose cross, the symbol of life. The shape of the Ankh, a rose cross, symbol of life. Then you have this Rosicrucians once again. Or Rosemary's Baby on that concern. Yeah, Rosemary's Baby and all the stuff. From the book Acid Dreams, The Complete Social History of LSD, the CIA, the 60s and Beyond, from Martin A. Lee and Bruce Schlane. We read, on page 115 in September 1965, Michael Hollingshead returned to his native London armed with hundreds of copies of the updated Book of the Dead, which is Egyptian occult book, and 5,000 doses of LSD, which he procured from Czech government laboratories in Prague. And communism did collapse through, not right then, and acid did have quite a bit to do with it. So many people were on a mission together with drugs and with the occult, with the Book of the Dead. By the way, the Falling Man is not only a thing of this roped character or hanging on a rope on the Manson murders, but it's quite recent, huh? This is 2001. No, not the novel, but 9/11 with the Falling Man. The Falling Man is a photograph by AP Photographer. That's the same press agency that this famous Altgens pictures of the John F. Kennedy assassination are associated with. Richard drew of a man falling from the World Trade Center during September 11 attacks in New York. The unidentified man in the image was trapped on the upper floors, blah, 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 etc., etc., etc. So, the Hanged Man. And I once mentioned that in a German session, and my colleague in the German chef said, oh, no, there's nothing to it. I said, there is. No one shoots a picture and decides to publish that picture if that does not serve any purpose. So that serves the purpose to tell you, yep, yeah, we are behind it. And we have more proof of that. Many more proof of that. We did a session called American Rituals, where we have proven that it has much to do with occultism. Yeah. So, hanging on the rope.
Yeah, Michael, I can back you up on that. That I call that Satan Marxist territory.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. It's also
because that's the press. That's the press that determines these things. Yeah.
Yeah. Also interesting backgrounds when you think of that as a white-black background.
Oh yeah. Right.
So everything is a lie here, I think. Also with Jay Sebring. If we know that Sharon Tate is then alive and kicking as her never existed sister, and even she is smiling here, yeah, and Jay Sebring is here seeing in that strange position that usually no one can bear for several hours, then everything is a total fabrication, which means these are all actors. The hanging scene also is one of the scenes in Roman Polanski's movies Repulsion. You see here a girl hanging. The hanged man or the hanged woman. Yeah. Coming back to the September 11 attacks, there were 19 attackers, 19 number of the sun, C19, on September 11, once again, with Flight 11. Yeah, so you know Freemasons are behind it. Yeah. United Airlines Flight 175, 1 + 7 + 5, 13. Yeah, you see they have all the numbers you need for the Freemason identification. And then when it comes up to the color orange, it's another hint for Freemasonry, because that is the color which we know from the Golden Gate episode stands or resembles the numeral code of 33, the highest degree of Freemason Scottish Rite. One of the pictures, the Falling Man's shirt or white jacket was blown up and revealing an orange t-shirt. What a coincidence, huh? What a coincidence. Yeah. It could be Jonathan. Yeah. Jonathan Briley, who was supposed to be the victim with the orange t-shirt, was a brother to Alexander Briley, a member of the band Village People. Oh yeah, YMP. CA. Yeah, and that photographer who made that picture with the famous falling man, he was 21 years old when he was standing right behind Bobby Kennedy when Bobby Kennedy was shot in the head. What a coincidence. He's always at the right spot. How can that be? Huh? Must be an accident. Coincidence. Or foreknowledge. Associated Press. He works for Associated Press. Yeah. Like James Alkins. Or Ike Alkins. Yeah. Running around Dallas DC Plaza with a faster than Usain Bolt to take his pictures. Oh, sure. So, the 9/11 Sharon Tate ritual. Huh? One eye symbolism, anybody? Coming from Miles Matthews here, which I would like to back up on that because I think that that he's spot on when it comes down to the Manson murders. But I'm not in line with this many of his other findings. But nevertheless, he's a very busy and very clever guy. You see a nude Sharon Tate with a beer in front. Yeah, you see that can have also many meanings. The 4 sons of Horus, so the son of Osiris, Isis, Egyptian mythology, appear in the sky as part of the Great Beer. Yeah, maybe that has also something to do with Freemasonry. I'm not initiated, I don't know, but yeah. So the 9/11 Sharon Tate murder ritual was a media ritual 20 days after the moon landing ritual, which is already fake. Yeah, so fake. It's 2001, 1969. Everything is totally fabrication. Totally. Polanski and Tate were actors in a CIA project of Laurel Canyon. Yeah, and Laurel Canyon is a total fabrication. When this video has been published, you know that I have published 30 videos from that interesting book of Dave McGowan, Weird Scenes at the Laurel Canyon. In Polanski's movies Repulsion, later The Ninth Gate, and Tate's last movie, The Wrecking Crew, there are also hangman positions. Yeah, but... August 9 was the date of the dropping of the atom bomb in 1945 on the 33-degree parallel, and date of death, JFK father 1963. Abigail Folger was trained by the Dominicans. The victim, the perpetrator, and the lawyer of Manson were all Jesuit trained. Yeah, I almost forgot that J. Sebring also was Jesuitically trained. Must be a coincidence. Sure. Gets worse. Rosicrucianism uses also the rose, because the rose is sort of the rose cross, or the Ankh, which is of course very close to the symbol of Venus, a Roman goddess who never existed, but is being used today as a symbol of female toilets. Yeah, the symbol of Venus. Yeah, Rosicrucian, R.C. Christian, a pseudonym. Sure, you have to believe it. Yeah, Rosicrucians, yeah, with their Rosencross, Rosicrucians, and with their Anke. Yeah, and that's the grave of Thomas J. Kammer, J. Sebring. And can we bet that at least 1969 there was nobody buried? This is just a stone lying there on the grass, or an empty casket. Come on, he's a Jesuit. He has the Ankh as his symbol of his enterprise. And you see a rose or a flower with 5 petals on his grave. Like the 5 petals in some Rosicrucian's cross, or close to the 5 petals of the flag of Hong Kong, huh? So, Rosicrucians, Order of the Golden Dawn. Now we're coming to Aleister Crowley, who has made that famous 12 card of the tarot card with the Ankh holding the crucified victim in place, the hanged man. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn was a secret society, sure, very close to the Great Britain secret societies, or secret service actually. The founders of them, William Robert Woodman, William Wynne Westcott, and Samuel Little Mathers, were Freemasons. Coincidence, of course. Sure. The Ordo Templi Orientis, later. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, origin in Egyptian religion. Sure, they are Freemasons, Buddhism, Persian mysticism, which are the Magi, Knight Templars. It's all the same. Yeah, just short variations from country to country. History of Rosicrucianism. The rose represents Venus, planet of beauty, sexuality, music, art, fashion. That makes the rose pattern. It symbolized the light bringer Lucifer. Oh, look here. Oh, never would have guessed that, huh? That it has something to do with Lucifer. When a goddess called Isis is holding up Ankh in that famous movie from Kenneth Anger, Lucifer Rising. Yeah, sure, it has something to do with Lucifer. Every pagan god is Lucifer. There are no pagan gods. Satan has been seen as a god, but he isn't even a god because he's a created angelic being. So, that website here speaks of the invaders that took over the human experiment and became the new gods. He's referring, of course, to the Genesis chapter when it comes down to the sons of God went into the daughters of man to have offspring. The invaders, yeah. But the invaders were not coming from somewhere, but they're just fallen angels. So the rose and cross represents the union of male-female. That's we all know. I think that from now on it's all repetition here. Yeah, the Rose War. Yeah, the House of Lancaster bears the red rose, 1406. Yeah, the Luciferian bloodline fights an internal struggle, the War of the Roses between the House of Lancaster, the Order of the Golden Fleece, and House of York. Interesting, huh? You know that Jacqueline Kennedy, she had a bunch of roses on the Dallas trip, handed over in Dallas, and she has made a poem about her husband, and he says he has to, something with the Golden Fleece, yeah, he has to find the Golden Fleece. Coincidence. Everything is coincidence here. Our leaders would never ever betray us. Never happened, huh? Yeah, Rosicrucian wedding. Yeah, that's all Rosicrucian here. Crux ansata. Ordre Kabbalistique de la Rose Croix. Yeah, so the Kabbalistic order of the Rosicrucians. Yeah, you can have 1,000 names in every language for the same thing, which is a derivative of a variation of Rosicrucianism or Freemasonry. 1933, interesting year, no? 33, Adolf Hitler, Germany, and all the stuff. Franklin Roosevelt as president of the U.S. communists and fascists all celebrate 1st May to celebrate Venus, yeah, and have this Druid Day for. What is it? Beltane, I think. Fertility feast, yeah, definitely, yeah. Guns N' Roses, you see, yeah, last time, yeah, Guns N' Roses, strange-looking cross, a cross with Axl Rose in the middle. Ah, so much thing. Sharon Tate, Sharon means the Rose of the Valley. Sharon Tate at the premiere of Roman Polanski's Rosemary's Baby. You see, I know that's repetition here, therefore we shall move on. H.G. Wells. It's repetition here, repetition, repetition, repetition. He has also that Crux ansata, an indictment of the Roman Catholic Church. Yeah, and then using the Ankh as a symbol. Oh, applause, applause, applause. Yeah, very, very interesting and very, very easy to see what it's all about. Yeah, low cover as cover, we would say, huh? So back to Sharon Tate. Sharon Tate was officially initiated, of course, into witchcraft, yeah, from Maxine Sanders, which is the wife of that famous king of the witches, which is impossible because male witches are called sorcerers, but what do I know? Maxine Sanders, for the movie 1966 or so, Eye of the Devil, she initiated officially then Sharon Tate. Look at the symbol in the background. It's an Ankh once again. Yeah, that's just the initiation. Oh yeah, I'm starting to freeze in awe for that initiation here. Yeah, sure. So that's all just a movie. Yeah, that looks like a porn to me, and not like initiation. But what do I know, huh? Looks like a little bit like Lucifer Rising there, but yeah, Sharon Tate. And then Sharon Tate been seen in an AC Cobra. Can we remember a few minutes ago, Brett, that there was some cobra on the head of a so-called Egyptian pharaoh in that Batman episode of The Green Hornet? Now things are coming together, huh?
And the forehead, yeah.
Yeah, and this is Sharon Tate, the Rose of the Valley, together with the J. Sebring with the Ankh, with the Rose Recrution cross as the symbol. Huh? Now, coming together, all the pieces. Rosicrucian, Sharon Tate, Rose of the Valley, Ankh, with the Cobra. How many things would you like to see? Which is, of course, also a symbol or a variation of the Venus symbol. Venus has also the 8-pointed star as a symbol from some cultures, which means that she's also the Roman equivalent to Semiramis or Ishtar. But it's just in any other culture she bears other names. So, and adopted by biology as a gender symbol for female, like the Mars symbol for male and sometimes a Mercury symbol for hermaphrodite. Yeah, interesting that we all live in a world of Roman gods. The Venus symbol is also used in Western alchemy, representing the element of copper. Polished copper has been used for mirrors. The symbol for Venus has sometimes been called the Venus mirror. Yeah, so cross copper symbol for Venus. It has also been interpreted as a depiction of the hand mirror of the goddess, which is not quite 100% according to my knowledge, because usually you don't have a mirror which has that bar in the middle. And therefore, I would also more go for the spiritual explanation of it, that there is spirit ruling the earth, or spirit ruling matter, or male and female. So 1,000 symbols of Venus, 1,000 symbols of Mars, 1,000 coats of arms with anything. Letter 8, the star. Water is female. 8-pointed star, Ishtar, you see, of course, a female here. In divination, a naked woman. 7 small stars representing the chakras. Yeah, there's so much to it. Her sister, which I never knew, looked so much like Sharon, just different colored eyes. Yes, they are colored eye lenses nowadays. That's no problem. Maybe she did also a nose job. Yeah, if somebody has a boob job, next has an ass job, then has a boob job, then has a nose job. What else? There's a job for everything.
Happy Ishtar, Michael.
Yeah. Here you got the hanging scene, hangman. Yeah. So this picture is artificial because the shadows do not match up. Yeah. Thanks, Miles Matthews, for that. Yeah. Here's footage of Sharon Tate's funeral, once again, with a Roman cross in the background, and Knights Templars cross actually, and yeah, it's just a coincidence, yeah, because that is just a freeze frame here. Yeah, now you count the digits, Brett, and you come up with.
Oh, count the digits. 1, 2, 7. That's 9 plus 2, 11.
Yeah, must be a coincidence. Must almost be a coincidence. Red roses from Jacqueline Kennedy been handed over in Dallas. Just a coincidence. Rose Cherami, that's the name, had made a prediction under the name of Melba Markadis, has made a prediction that the president would be assassinated on Friday, November the 22nd. She was a prostitute and a one-time performer in Jack Ruby's Carousel Club. Yeah, you see that you will be bombarded with all the information and you do not know if Rose Cherami maybe is also another agent to distract you. Once again, here, Dave McGowan, weird scenes at Inside the Canyon. You see many people are being affiliated with the U.S. Army. Therefore, you can accept at least the suggestion that there's something fishy about it. And here comes the famous picture of my colleague Brett. Yeah, the do not know how to say that sand buggy that never functioned on the surface of ashes in some underground warehouse or what else. Yeah, with gold foil. Great. Yeah. So the entire world is fooling you. Everybody's fooling you with their symbols. If you know the symbols, you know their agenda. You know, Jesus Christ said, "On their fruits you will know them," and not on their blah blah, not on their fairy tales. Yes, we know that also this moon landing ritual was a Freemason ritual. So why not suggest that also any other thing concerning J. Sebring, when it comes down to the Ankh symbol of his Sebring Enterprises, is also a Freemason enterprise, huh? Her father, Paul Tate, served in Army intelligence, you see. There's much more to it, because the female lead in The Green Hornet, called Wendy Wagner, that's her, with a picture here of Bruce Lee together. I will enhance it a bit for your convenience. Yeah, Wendy Wagner. Yeah. She was best known for her role in The Green Hornet, and she was born to US Navy commander. So it is very strange to me that Bruce Lee was surrounded by people out of the US Army. And he never made it to the army because he was too weak and one leg was longer and all the stuff. So he did not have to go to the army to fight as a US citizen in Vietnam. How lucky someone can be. And he had also a problem with his testicles. There was one distant testicle. And so he was not drawn to the US Army. But he was surrounded by US Army. Yeah? Steve McQueen, J. Sebring, Wendy Wagner, Sharon Tate's dad. Oh, name anybody. So many people around there who were in the US Army. Who were in Laurel Canyon. And Laurel Canyon, we know, was an army project. Of course, CIA led. So, she also was born to US Navy commander. She was very beautiful, I have to admit. And so therefore, her film career included some roles. And out of a sudden, I found Rosemary's Baby. It is an extreme small circle of people who are involved in these high-profile actors. And the only innocent in it is Bruce Lee. Or Lee Yun-fan, knows nothing of anything except his martial arts. Yeah, but he's surrounded by people out of the intelligence. And now look at this. This Wendy Wagner, who played the secretary of the Green Hornet, yeah, who has been affiliated with, you see here, Bruce Lee. Yeah, look at this. Wagner was also friends with Sharon Tate, with the two sharing an apartment for a while. That can only be a coincidence. Both dads of them were US Army. That must be a coincidence. And this is a picture from Wendy Wagner together with J. Sebring. I hope that he did not touch her because he was deeply in love with Sharon Tate. They were also kissing and lovey-dovey, if you believe it. But Sharon was so beautiful, and everybody who is male and is into research of Sharon Tate, he cannot get enough of his breathtaking beauty, except me. Because I don't want to be fiddled around. I don't want to be fooled. Mattel, so the toy manufacturer, styled their Malibu Barbie on her character. Yeah, but she played only a role. She was an actress. She was an US Army asset. That's what she was. In an article here on Web Archive, they say she is the new Venus. Brad, what's the symbol of the Venus?
The pentagram?
Yeah, but the Egyptian symbol of it would be?
Oh, the Ankh. Oh.
The Ankh, yeah. So she is the new Venus. A goddess who's got everything. Don't you see these connections here? She was 16 and a mess of blonde and innocence, and the hustler producer took one look at her and said, put her under contract. Somebody told her to stick out your boobs, Sharon, and she did. And somebody told her to take off her clothes or for Playboy, and she did that too. And somebody told her to play Jennifer in Valley of the Dolls, and guess what? She did that too. And what does her father tell you? Oh yeah, Sharon, could you just hop on and ride on a US Army rocket? And she did that too. And then she realized the painful reality that she could never stop being a star. She was born in Dallas, Texas. Oh, what kind of a city is that, Brad? Is there some secret society being very infamous for being in Dallas?
Well, wait, no. Am I thinking of the right city?
Dallas.
I know that
John F. Kennedy. Dealey Plaza.
Oh, at Dealey Plaza, right.
Yeah, so only Freemasons. She lived the
typical... Well, they do call it the Lone Star Estate.
Remember for a reason, yeah. She lived the typical gypsy existence of an army brat for 16 years. Yeah, that's what she is. That's what she absolutely is. That was, my humble opinion, almost everybody in Laurel Canyon is, or in Benedict Canyon, or what else, on this 1969 movement. Mr. Beimer introduced her to his agent and Major Tate, the daddy of Sharon Tate, paid her fare to Hollywood. It was all arranged, guys. Nothing, or woman or what else, whoever wants to hear my scrambled voice here. Sharon Tate, the little girls from Dallas via Rome, was going into hiding. Oh, come on. How obvious must it be? From Dallas via Rome was going into hiding, and that was actually what happened. They would train me and prepare me, she remembers. Yeah, they would train you and prepare you, but to play your most favorite role as a corpse. You have just to lie down, Sharon. We just wind a little rope onto your lovely neck. And then you just lie down and we put some pig blood over you and you just lie down. And then you have to just sit still. And she did. I'm so sick of all that stuff because it's all just a fabrication. She was signed to make a movie, The Fearless Vampire Killers, and there she fell in love with Roman Polanski. Oh, isn't he beautiful? Sure. You see that with the figure and the looks of Sharon Tate. Yeah, she must have fallen for a Polish filmmaker who was a little bit smaller than she actually was. Do you really think that she could not have anybody on her little finger? Pinky finger. Later, he moved to France. So, Roman Polanski making an important horror movie. Yeah, sure, with the hangman in it, Repulsion. From there, he went to England and made Cul-de-sac with Catherine's sister. And he directed Rosemary's Baby, another horror movie. Horror. This is Roman Polanski. He was definitely not a looker like most of Sharon co-stars. But his spirited charm and unconventional looks are just bullshit. Yeah. He was a director, he is in it, and his famous movie is the alleged killing of his own wife, including the unborn child. Sharon played a Marilyn Monroe type superstar whose tragically riddled life ends in suicide. Okay, Marilyn Monroe had a suicide. Okay, that's new to me, but okay, that's what you have to believe if you just been sucked into Wikipedia. I will be never another Marilyn Monroe, Sharon says now. Yeah, sure, because Marilyn Monroe officially was suicided and you officially were murdered. But it's wrong in both cases, I think. And they, meaning the money man, wanted her to be a well-trained sex symbol with a vacuum for her head. Yeah, that's what you are as a corpse, playing a corpse. She sought privacy and anonymity by the sea. Yeah. You see, you only have to know the real story, and you know that this story absolutely is fitting, but you don't, usually people see it in the wrong context. Yeah. Most likely she got pregnant by whomsoever. It was the late 60s. And they had planned to make an appearance with her, and she played the Valley of the Rose. I don't know when they came up to it, and they had to make it fast, because I think that they wanted to have it most dramatic when a highly pregnant woman would be killed. Yeah, so I think that they set it on purpose on that date. That's very interesting. Her last year was 1969, 6'9", you know, the symbol of cancer here, 6'9", the scissors of the animal. And her last movie is called 12+1. Initially it was called 13, but I think that would be much more too obvious, Brad, huh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, supposedly for superstitious reasons after Sharon's death. No, it would be too obvious. Yeah, so 12+1. They tried to fool us, huh? Just 2 weeks later, Sharon took off for Europe to film 12+1 in Italy. I think that she was introduced in Italy. Oh, Sharon, we got a script here. Roman was into it, and he said he likes it. It plays in your home at 10050 Cielo Drive. You don't have to act. You only have to lie down. Look at this. This is called, he is called Christopher Jones. And I think that he's a kind of little bit more attractive as Roman Polanski. Maybe. Don't want to do anything with Roman Polanski because Roman Polanski is still living and kicking it in Switzerland. Land of Knight Templars. Temple Cross. Christopher Jones, as his relationship ending with Pia, Christopher met Sharon Tate. Here. Sharon was in Italy filming 12+1. Oh, interesting. Means 30. She was already married to Roman Polanski and carrying his child, but Roman couldn't get a visa into Italy to be with her. Oh, that is called bad luck, huh? Christopher Jones. Chris became a close friend of Sharon's, taking it upon himself to watch after her while she was alone in Italy. It is during this time that they had a brief affair. Oh, with the pregnant wife of a famous actor and director Roman Polanski. This is disgusting. It is during this time that they had a brief affair. Sharon confided to a friend that she had gone to get even with Roman for his philandering and that it had made her feel better about herself. Sharon had eventually finished her filming and the baby was beginning to show. She returned to London, and Roman, she never told him about her relationship with Christopher. He stayed in Italy and then went to Ireland, Roman Catholic, to complete Ryan's daughter. On August the 9th, Sharon Tate and 4 others were brutally pictured by the CIA as the so-called victims of Manson family in Benedict Canyon. One of Chris' managers, I found that last days. One of Chris' managers, Rudy Altobelli, owned the property where the murders took place and left immediately for Los Angeles. And now I'm out of breath. To make matters worse, Christopher had actually lived in the house. But keep calm, it's just a coincidence. Can you believe it? You even don't know who's the father of the child. Give or take. It's never ending, guys, really. If we don't make a short shift here or a shortcut, we'll never make it here. It was so devastating and isolated from the others on the set, so nobody knows where he was. He suffered in silence. Christopher Jones flew home in Los Angeles and vanished from the public eye. Can you guess my estimation then, Brad? Why he vanished from the public eye?
Can't think of why right now.
He had an affair with Sharon Tate. Sharon Tate was pregnant. Sharon Tate never was killed. And after Sharon Tate was killed, he vanished from the public eye.
Oh, okay. Because he would be suspect.
Yeah, but maybe he was the father of the child and he wanted to be with her.
Oh, maybe that. Yeah, right.
He would be the handsome guy that would be appropriate for Sharon Tate. He struggled the first years, and what else? Yeah. He premiered in February of 1970, so... 2 films were no success. He moved into the manager's guest house and property where the Tate killings had occurred in Benedict Canyon. Sure. He moved into the manager's guest house on a property where the Tate killings had occurred. Guys, nobody can believe all these coincidences, huh? Nobody can believe all these coincidences. This is all just a big BS. Nobody knows who's who in this game, but I don't want to play this game anymore here with the media. Chris Jones survived, finding his own way of on his own terms. He'd earned over $1 million since making Wild in the Streets. Had his Porsche, like Jay Sebring or Bruce Lee, and I'm out of coincidences. Sorry, yeah. So out of coincidences, yeah. That is the last shot before she died, sure. Yeah, nobody knows if that is photoshopped or the old days. Nobody knows anything. I don't care anymore. You see that I know everything is fake. There are no such coincidences. No such coincidences, yeah. And this is just Roman Polanski here having a total break on the funeral of Sharon Tate. Yeah, these are all actors. Yeah, actors. As if she didn't know that her daughter... Come on. You have every reason to believe that Sharon Tate was killed because your government tells you so. I have every reason to believe that we were totally being fooled. And I know that he's an actor. He acted together with Sharon Tate in The Fearless Vampire Killer, so he's an actor. Roman breaks down at Sharon's funeral. Sure, I have to believe it. Sharon's younger sister is now taking on her late mother's role. To see that Sharon killers are not paroled. This is such a... The lie is just too big. Yeah. The true story of the killings. It was so quiet, one of the killers would later say you could almost hear the sound of ice rattling and cocktail shakers in the homes way down the canyon. Great, Brett, huh? But you could never hear the gunshots that... the poor victim in that Pontiac was being shot down. No? Nobody heard any shots. Sure. But you could hear the sound of ice rattling and cocktails. You see, if you don't see all these coincidences and all this contradicting stuff here, yeah, it's surprising that more people didn't hear something. No, it just it's... And then that road, that house leads in a cul-de-sac, which is the title of Polanski movie. Come on, we could 100 sessions of Sharon Tate alone. And not one bit. I believe that it happened the way that the media is telling us. Cul-de-sac is, of course, a black comedy thriller, Roman Polanski, of two injured American gangsters spurring a series of mind games and violent altercations, yeah. You see. But Mrs. Scott heard in close sequence what sounded like 3 or 4 gunshots between 12:30 and 1 a.m. Interesting, huh? 12:30 this is time that Kennedy was shot, and 1 a.m. means 13 strikes of the clock, means that don't believe anything. Yeah, we know that from the script of Bruce Lee. The victims looked like mannequins. Yeah, maybe they were. Nobody knows. Yeah, you see that nobody has a flag on the couch. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. You see that I'm glad when this is over, because the hairdresser I used worked for Doris Tate. Come on, guys, really. Sebring Incorporated. Yeah, from Lieutenant Colonel Paul J. Tate, retired. Yeah, he had something to do. I don't want to read everything. Yeah, with Sebring later on. Come on, guys, really. If you believe it, then you're on a complete wrong channel, because you have to doubt everything that you see, not to believe everything that you see. You have to believe the Bible. You have to believe God's word, but not believe in the tales of man, fabrication. Sebring's Porsche, yeah, 911. That's why they have a 911. A gram of cocaine was found in Sebring Porsche, plus marijuana and 2-inch roach, 6.9 grams of marijuana. What else? Hashish. Yeah, it was 60s. And now here's something. The police was not only the only one to think of drugs. On hearing of the deaths, actor Steve McQueen, longtime friend of Jay Sebring, sure, what a small word, suggested that the hairstylist home should be rid of narcotics to protect his family and business. Yeah, okay, but I think that they all did. I think it was McQueen who introduced marijuana to Bruce Lee, if I remember correctly. Official story. I'm glad when this is all done. You see that I can't look to any all this fabricated stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Mrs. Wendy Wagner here, which is the daughter of a U.S. Army guy. She appeared on Perry Mason, Mason from the Masons, Freemasons. During 66-67, she had a regular role as Lennon Cassie Case, the secretary to Britt Reed. What does Cassie Case mean, Brett?
33.
Yeah, you see, all everywhere. Yeah, Bruce Lee, who has also his darts. Where do we know darts from?
From the movie that was made about Bruce Lee's death.
Yeah, but last time you corrected me something with darts.
Oh yeah. Oh, the blow dart.
The blow dart, yeah. Interesting, huh? That Bruce Lee is using a blow dart a dart here, not a blow dart, but a dart here in the Green Hornet. And later on, he's using darts in The Way of the Dragon. He's doing that themselves, yeah. And he's then putting the darts in the hands of the people or in front of the people so that they can't take the guns.
Wasn't that Enter the Dragon where, you have a scene right there.
That's Way of the Dragon in Rome, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you also had a dart in
you're spot on. Great that you know the videos. Yeah, but I have forgotten that
frame of it right there. Right.
Wagner lived in Malibu. She died on cancer at the age of 55. Her body was cremated and ashes were scattered. Yeah, nothing. I don't know whom to believe. I know that Roman Polanski appeared with a beautiful blonde girl at the funeral of his own wife. Sure, I think that we are framed. Yeah, it's every time it's a frame. They want to believe us. They want to betray us. They want us to believe them. Yeah, the Wrecking Crew. Sharon, in the final scene of the Wrecking Crew, she was described as Martin Soul Alley, a bungling and spectacled agent in the Wrecking Crew. My. That's where Bruce Lee was the martial arts consultant. Yeah. You see here, best friends, Jay Sebring, Roman, and Sharon Tate. Jay Sebring, perhaps Sharon's best friend. Somebody told me it can be that Jay Sebring is a relative of Sharon Tate. So they both were no lovers, but just relatives. That I think that he was Sharon's handler. And Roman was later on handler, and he's a Jesuit, yeah. So he's a Jesuit, and what Roman Polanski is, you can guess, and we will sure soon find out. And she's an army asset, yeah. So maybe that's also hierarchy here. Sharon and Jay, in loving memory of two George's sweet angels, yeah. You think disinformation program, Brett?
Yeah, that's right. That's what we got, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
In the corporate states of America, yeah.
We know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false. Including the moon landing, including the Manson murders, including 9/11. What else?
Oh, especially 9/11, yeah.
Yeah. Bruce Lee, the Jay Sebring collection. Gung Fu with the Taoist symbol, and then with the take good care, Bruce. Jay, yeah, so Jay was a Rosicrucian guy, a Freemason guy, a guy who was Jesuitically trained, was the entrance card for Bruce Lee to Hollywood. What a coincidence, yeah. So we can assume that Bruce Lee was Jesuit controlled without even knowing it. He was Jesuitically trained at the Saint-François Xavier in Hollywood, and then it was a Jesuit called Jay Sebring who put him to Hollywood to director Bill Fraser for the Green Hornet. And then they let him starve because they don't wanted to have a Chinese male as a lead character in a Hollywood movie, and therefore he had to go to Hong Kong. And I think that's also no coincidence. I think that they did send him to Hollywood because I know that there were guys from Warner Brothers who advised him to go to Hollywood. So Warner Brothers are Freemasons. You see? There is not one coincidence in the story of Bruce Lee, I think. It is an agenda, and he didn't know. He wasn't aware of anything. I think that there are two possibilities. Either he was just only doing his gung fu all the time, 24/7, And he was not aware of all the things and all the symbols and all the stuff because he was only 32 when he died. So he was only busy with this fighting and punching and kicking and all the stuff. Or he was just a low figure in the business. It's up to you to decide. But at this point, there are no other possibilities, in my humble opinion. Jay Sebring driving a Porsche 911. 911 ritual, yeah. Revelation 9:11, the angel of the abyss called Satan. What are hairdressers infamous for? Huh? Blah, 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 blah. The talk of the down, DODD. Yeah, so collecting information.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so I think that if you just fly everywhere to Sammy Davis, hi Sammy, Night of Malta, hi Frank Sinatra, or Night of what else, and Mafia and all the stuff, yeah, and Steve McQueen, and did you hear Bruce? Yeah, let me tell you, he's great, yeah, or maybe he could smuggle some drugs into Hong Kong, huh? Wasn't it? That there was some drug letters? Are you really sure that was for his own purpose? Nobody knows. I sometimes collect some things for friends. I sometimes purchase things for other people. I think that's not that easy. I think that at least in this session you should really take care of that symbol and the connection between Jay Sebring and Bruce Lee. The catalyst behind Bruce Lee's stardom in Hollywood. I didn't read that book, but I think I have enough knowledge in symbolism that I see what's up here. A Jesuit using an ankh. Jesuitically trained using an ankh, together with any other Freemason stuff. And Hollywood is Freemasonry. Yeah, there are so many Tates who have barbershop. Sebring flew to Las Vegas every 3 weeks to cut the hair of Frank Sinatra. Shall I try to translate that sentence here? Brad? Okay, I tried to translate that sentence. He flew to Las Vegas every 3 weeks to cut the hair of Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. Okay, I translate that sentence. He flew to Las Vegas every 3 weeks to Night of Malta, I think, Frank Sinatra, and Night of Malta, Sammy Davis Jr. to receive his orders.
That makes sense.
That's a just suggestion. I can't prove it, of course. Yeah, we're speaking of secret services here. Yeah. But come on. Yeah, he's opening the windows. It's also very interesting stuff. Huh? Windows, only the thief comes through the window, and that's not a good symbol also been used in Batman. Yeah, so this is Sammy Davis Jr. Not only Church of Satan to distraction, but Night of Malta. At Kirk Douglas' request, Sebring did the hairstylist for the movie Spartacus. Yeah, and you can see that Kirk Douglas told in his biography that there were rumors that the child from Sharon Tate was originated by Mr. Jay Sebring. Maybe it was also by another guy. Who knows? It's the 60s, guys. What does this man has to do here? Danny Inosanto from Innocence. Inosanto, or Santo from the Saint. Danny Inosanto from the Philippines, if I remember correctly. One of the best practitioners of Jeet Kune Do. And one of the most prolific martial arts experts everywhere. I highly regard that man. I have seen some videos for him when he did education on knife attacks, and that man is really, really, really smart and really knows what he's talking about. Danny Inosanto has red tape around his hair and has a kind of an X symbol on his forehead, right? Comes from Game of Death. And I found that very strange. Look at these coincidences, Brad.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. So the Manson family also wear that X, and Kurt Cobain also wear that X. X usually is the rejection of Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is Leslie Van Houten, and doesn't she look like a murderer in the La Bianca case? La Bianca case is a totally different animal. LaBianca case can be made by some high prolific killers. I don't know. I haven't got into this. But in the Manson case, I am quite sure that it has all been a setup to betray people. So they had an ex. And also Charles Manson had that X, so that was a very famous sign of the 60s. And I asked myself why Dan Innocente also carries on his 1972 movie, original being made 1972, Game of Death. But it's all about death, I think. Yeah. To get more into the cult idea, they have shaven their heads like monks. It's so obvious what's going on, huh? All the Manson family members involved in the killings were sentenced to life in prison once the state of California ruled the death penalty unconstitutional in 1972. This is also another coincidence here, I think. Yeah. So this is the X sign also. This is Osiris risen. Yeah. So when you do it with the hands, it's a rejection of Christ and it's the veneration of the risen Osiris from the underworld. Yeah, sure. Yeah, and they are just also having the X, like Kurt Cobain and Nirvana, where you then go when you die. Yeah, but that's a problem here. If you don't read the introduction of all this stuff in Lucifer Rising 1972, the introduction is Puck Film Productions. We can go into Puck. He is also carrying a star symbol here. What fools these mortals be? Yeah. A movie been financed by J.P. Getty, Jesuit, depicting Lucifer Rising, a dead Osiris, in that Osiris pose, the same pose as Skull and Bones with the crossbones 322, which is of course Genesis 3:2. See, man has become one of us, so men shall be gods. Yeah, this is Lucifer Rising once again with the Ankh. I can't find any bigger picture of that Ankh if you really see that everything is connected through Freemasonry in the case of Sharon Tate. And it was officially somebody using an Ankh who has been introduced, Bruce Lee, to Hollywood. And here you see Jay Sebring with the Ankh, a Jesuit, using Freemasonry together with the Rose of the Valley, Sharon Tate, in a cobra. And this is Bruce Lee having a cobra in Enter the Dragon. Oh, come on. It must be a coincidence. In Hong Kong, you find any other snakes. Don't find any other snakes except the cobra. Yeah. So, in Freemason 33, Order Up Chaos, or the Order Out of Chaos, has been seen with in line with the Lucifer Rising picture here of the Jesuit J.P. Getty with Babylon and Chaos. And Operation Chaos is a Central Intelligence Agency, CIA domestic espionage project targeting American citizens operating from 67 to 74, so including 69. Established by Jesuit Lyndon B. Johnson, who received the prize from the Jesuits a few weeks before the assassination of Kennedy, and expanded under President Richard Nixon, whose mission, sending out of agents by Jesuits, it means, was to uncover possible foreign influence on domestic race, anti-war, and other protest movements. Operation was launched. Richard Helms, James Jesus Angleton, who also was affiliated with the Kennedy assassination, headed by Richard Ober. I'm getting to be awake now. The CIA was changed with the blah 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 and so weiter and so forth and so forth and so forth and so forth. So this is Operation Chaos. Charles Manson, the CIA, and the secret history of the 60s. What Tom O'Neill doesn't tell you is the involvement of Freemasonry, I think, but there must be something that this channel is good for, except pointing the finger to the Bible. In Greek mythology, chaos was perceived as the void from which all things sprang, or a mass of unordered things. So like the Big Bang. Huh? Chaos existed from the beginning. Oh, nobody knows where it comes from, but it is simply there. On the Tree of Life is identified with Sipira Chokma of Wisdom, whose traditional title is Abba, or Father. Oh, what a coincidence. My. Wasn't it Abba that was on the hair-spraying products of Jay Sebring with the Ankh?
Mm-hmm.
Chaos is also thought of by man as the beast. Chaos. Okay, there's also chaos magic and more like it, but I think that you have now been seen enough to really see that what's it all about, and also the English intelligence using the one-eye pyramid, so an Egyptian symbol of Elizabeth II. Who reigned for 70 years. Yeah. One-eye pyramid. I think that we have talked about this already. Hitchcock, John Buchanan, 39 Steps. Yeah. 39 Steps also can have a resemblance to Freemasonry, of course, that there are some hierarchy above the Freemasons, which can also be only coming from several states, which we talk about a little bit later. Yeah, but perhaps this history of Sharon Tate gives you an impression that how many Freemason guys there are. It's not only J. Sebring and Stalin, Bonaparte, or our Pope. Not our Pope, your Pope. It's not my Pope. I haven't elected him. And there is Matthew 23:9, call no one your father, I think. The Beatles. William, who has combined it with the satanic Manu Cornuta. And look at here, Roman Polanski in The Fearless Vampire Killers. That's the movie where he officially has been seen Sharon Tate and fell in love with her. Yeah, you see a Freemason temple in it. The Dance of the Vampires, 1967, or The Fearless Vampire Killers. Yeah? Anthony Fauci. Roman Polanski, once again, with Sharon Tate this time. The Hidden Hand. The same Freemason stuff with brother Jack Warner. Warner Brothers. Enter the Dragon. It's always Freemasonry. Oops. What do we see here? I think that's an unknown actor. But maybe this is just only a coincidence. So much for coincidences in this session. I'm really glad that this summation of all the chaos has been delved in now, and I will never even touch that again with the Ankh, because it's so much copy paste, and of course you will miss something. I hope you haven't missed the point, and I hope that you see that the entire world is dominated by secret societies, and they're just laughing about their secret tale, because they wanted to be like gods, and therefore they communicate in symbols with the Masonic checkered floor, with the Ark, with the two pillars of Freemasonry here, with Roman Polanski. So that means that your Bruce Lee was being surrounded by members of a secret society. So much so, signing off, looking forward to next time, Maranatha, and handing it over to my beloved brother Brett as usual.
Yes, Michael, this only proves that the so-called hierarchy has to have a method to deal with the mammon. So in order to escalate in the hierarchy, you must obey, and you must bring these things to the forefront, I guess, huh? What do they call them? Heraldry, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's an order, and oh yeah, Grand Lodge of British Columbia and Yukon. Interesting. Yeah, Roman Polanski staring at the temple.
Yeah, and I've checked it out. You see, you will have a session about Roman Polanski as well soon. But I checked it out. I looked at that video, and it is very dark in that video. And this is the best image I can come up with. And so I verified that. Yeah, so it is really in that movie.
Wow.
It is so hidden.
Right.
Yeah, but now you know that he's a member of a secret society as well. So they are all lying to you. All.
Yeah, they are kind of strange characters because, you know, we come from a different place. We're coming from the veneration of Christ as our Savior, and that He died for our sins. whereas they don't see themselves as sinners. They don't have any convictions of that. They would rather have their reward now in the doling out of the hierarchy, I guess.
Yeah, isn't that the new normal then?
Sure.
When more and more people are into satanic belief, Luciferian belief and all the stuff, and they just normalize it by educating the children since a few hundred years with their Luciferian doctrine, which is these ratio stereo stuff since 1599. The people think that is normal, and that our point of view, this is not normal, this is pathetic, or what else?
Well, you mean true, I think what you're trying to say is true Protestant point of view. Is, because Protestantism, as far as I'm concerned, is, the taming of the self. In other words, being submissive to the commandments that are in the Bible and being aware of them, being a good Berean, having your iron sharpen iron by, studying with others and not being confined all the time to your own quarters, isolated, so to speak. You have to have some method of getting outside of your own sphere, so to speak. You can't really. What was that, Michael? You say this all the time. Preach the gospel to every creature.
Yeah, it's Mark 16:15.
So that means getting out there and being active in this world. Don't be a part of the world, but be active in the world. And by all means, we're not infallible creatures here. We have our faults. But then again, we have our strong points too, and we have a gospel to administer to a sick world, don't we, Michael? It's a very sick world, especially when you end up with trash like this being venerated everywhere.
Everywhere, and the people have been going to the cinema and just financing the stuff. Because they get thrilled by seeing they get thrilled and hooked by seeing all the evil. Yeah, when you are in the Antichrist spirit, you've been hooked on this horror and thriller and this computer shooting games and all that crap.
Well, and I think that's why there's so many problems when you mention the word Jesuit, because it just brings about the worst so easily. Because how dare you bring up the Roman it's basically the modern version of the Roman Inquisition, Michael. They're the new inquisitors. They're the ones that took over the Franciscans, or not the Franciscans. Who was it that headed the Inquisition? Dominicans, thank you. Yeah, the Dominicans. So, I don't know. It's a long, complicated thing. Roman Catholicism, Roman Polanski. What a name! That's not his real name, folks.
No, the name is as well fake as Jay Sebring is.
Yeah,
it's all fake names.
Yeah, they can change their name. They can change this. They can change that anytime they want.
Yeah,
but
who's
will they
changing?
Ever admit? Will they ever admit that Christ came and died for their sin? No, they won't, because they've taken the position the other side. The position is Antichrist. It's so big and in your face today, you can hardly even recognize it because no one talks about it, Michael. We don't sit and talk around, he's Antichrist. I wouldn't be involved with him. No, you don't sit and talk about that with your mother now on Sundays, do you? No, nothing of the sort. No one cares anymore what the spirit of Antichrist is, because it's everywhere in everything we do. It's just taken as, I don't know, just strange world we're living in, Michael. But, the Bible does say that in the latter times, some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. And that's what we got. So, yeah, we're in the latter times. The Bible's speaking of it all the time, But how much time we got left, that's up to debate. That's something that is very, very much a very hot topic these days. And, even in the political realm. So separation between church and state, there is none. There never has been. It's a lie. It's always been a lie. And they teach us lies so that we can accept their truth, not that's what the Savior wants us to believe, of course, because if you study the Bible, the Bible, it's pretty much opposite. Pretty much the exact opposite. Bitter for sweet, sweet for bitter. Woe to them who call good evil or evil good. And that's what we got. We got the normalization of all of that on a grand scale. It's called the cinema. So yeah, Michael, thanks for bringing that information forward to us today, because we need it. We need it now more than ever. And yeah, it's a tough battle to try and re-educate a corrupt mind, but that's what we're all doing in our own ways. Taking a look at the corruption and trying to look at the Bible and trying to make sense out of what we've just witnessed and what we've just done in our lives. Because let's face it, we're gonna face our Maker one of these days. And that's the question. Would you rather be in a position of humility and remorse, or would you rather be in a position of great wealth and worldly riches, like the fellow we see right in front of us here?
And he's 90 years old, and his real name is Raymond Thierry Liebling.
Raymond. Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. No. Living in Switzerland, in a very, 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 very precious, expensive town. Yeah, I think that he had been rewarded for his service.
Yeah, I think so. For sure. Well, and he probably played his cards correctly, unlike Mr. Bruce Lee, who didn't get it. Would have been interesting if he would have, but then again, he probably wouldn't have continued in his acting career, probably, if he did get it. But
every time that we go in a high-profile case, we come down to the nitty-gritty and we come down to the same conclusion. We come to the same conclusion that is had nothing to do with Wikipedia outside. If you do your own research and you really want to know the truth, it takes an extreme amount of hours, but then you come to the nitty-gritty and you see, it's starting all over again. It's every time. So the Bible is absolutely correct when it says there are just only two seeds. Your seed and her seed. So the seed of Satan or the serpent and Eve's seed. After all, so the people are being blinded. That's a problem. Yeah, so blinded by money and worldly fame. And of course,
it's a spiritual thing, Michael.
Yeah.
It's not something to do with the flesh. You have to eradicate the flesh. because, I've mentioned this before, and I believe it's entirely true, is that the flesh is warring against the spirit. So your flesh doesn't want your spirit to maintain in this study, and your spirit doesn't want your flesh to take precedence over everything. So it's a war, in a sense. We all fight it, whether we know it or not. We're all at war right now with our own flesh. That's part of what being a regenerating Bible believer is all about, I believe, Michael. And with that, we'll catch up with you next time. God bless. Maranatha.